So here's a car that hasn't been seen on this channel in a couple of years. It's our Project Daily Driver 72 Slinger. Yeah, I know, it's got a 71 grill. I don't like the 72 grill. So it's here at the shop today because we have to do some odds and ends on it. I'm going to show you one of the things in a minute. But for you newcomers, for you guys who haven't been around, we did this car. This was Project Daily Driver. We did this about 2 years ago now. And well, okay, wait, let me go back. This car has been around our fleet for the last 10 years. We originally built this car back when I was in the Mopar parts business, and I was selling a ton of A-body stuff. And one of the things about that business is you come across parts that are nice, not nice enough to sell, not good enough to sell, right, but too good to throw away. So that's what we built this car out of. We had a bare unibody, just a roof and quarter panels sitting in the yard, right? And I had this piles and piles of parts. I'm like, I can't sell this stuff, and I'm not into hauling off to swap meets. I'm just not into that. Let's build a car out of it. So that's what we did. We put this thing together in the backyard at the house, right? And drove it for, I don't know, 5 or 6 years. It was our like daily driver. So at any rate, what happened was it needed a refresh. The car had been, we had an accident. The door, the front fender and the door got crunched. The paint was terrible, and the motor was tired. It was like a 200,000 or 300,000 mile 318 that we had just thrown in there, you know, to just go down the road with. So we pulled this thing off the road and we did a project for the channel, and we built the engine for it. It's a 360. I'll open the hood and go over that in a minute. Did the body work and the paint, which I'm telling you, okay, so here's the thing about the bodywork and paint. All right, now this is about 2 years old now. Now, if I had paid somebody to do this job, I would be pissed, okay? Because, you know what I mean, if you're paying a professional to do something, you want it to be right. But considering that I did it myself, and I used really cheap paint, I used like it was like $125 to $150 paint, right, that we got off on, you know, Amazon, I think it was. Anyway, make a long story short, I did the body work, I did the paint. It's not terrible. I have some blistering over here, right, which is common. It's my fault. I just didn't seal it, you know. Look, I'm a mechanic, I'm not a body guy. And on the door here, we have a couple of cracks and chips right here. So this is gonna have to be, I'm gonna have to do something with this. But all in all, it's not terrible. You know, it needs some just needs a little touch up. But again, see, the idea is it's a daily driver. It's definitely not a show car. And it's certainly not a collector car. It's just, you know what I mean? It's just a driver. That was the whole point of this car, is to just be a driver. So I'll show the interior real quick. Okay, nothing crazy, and it's all reject parts, like these scoops, for example, right? They look good, but now you can't see them on this one because I fixed this. These were all cracked, spider-webbed and cracked. I think this one over here, yeah, here's when it started cracking some more, see? But, you know, see, the nice thing about stuff like this is that you don't mind it being outside. You know, the whole point of this car was something that I'll leave it in the parking lot. I don't care if somebody opens the door into it. I don't care if a bird poops on the thing. I don't care if kids playing ball and a ball bounces off of it. It's a car. It's supposed to be used as a car. Is it raining out? Drive it. Is it snowing out? Drive it. You know what I mean? Don't pay any attention to the car itself. Just enjoy it for a vintage car. That's all it is. And be prepared to redo whatever it is that you're going to do, because it's all done on a budget. So, like I said, the car, we used it for, actually we did a few different videos on this. Aside from that whole build, where we did the motor and the body and all that other stuff, we also used it for some, I'll open the hood here. We used it for a couple of different videos, carburetor videos, and one of them that was very popular, and this is one of the reasons why the car is here right now. One of them that was very popular was, we call it the $8 cure for vapor lock. And what we did here was so here's the regular fuel filter, okay? And then we added this this vent style fuel filter. So what this is it has an orifice right here, and it allows vapors to return. So this line right here goes back to the tank, and this line is one of the reasons why I'm making this video. So to explain what happens here is that under hot circumstances, with today's gas, the gasoline will boil in the fuel pump. So what will happen is, as the engine gets hot, the gas will start to boil in the pump, and instead of sending fuel up the line, it sends vapor up the line. So this orifice, this filter with the orifice right here, it's like a 60 thousandths opening in there, allows that vapor an escape route, and that vapor goes back to the tank. So, and it fixed the vapor lock issue. Never had a problem with vapor lock after that. But look at this hose. Now this was 2 years ago when we put this together. This was brand new hose. Look at the way this is splitting like this. Okay, this was, I went to the parts store and bought this hose. And here, look, I move it and look at the fuel running down the line right there. You see that? Look at this. This is potential for a fire, because even though it's a vapor line, it's still carrying a fair amount of fuel with it. So this is Kathy's daily driver. So, and this car goes to the supermarket. That's all this thing does. It goes from the supermarket, you know, to the house. That's it. A couple of times a day. It goes from the house to the mall, the house to the supermarket, the house to wherever, you know, her little running around, local running around. This is a problem. Brand new line, right? I went, whichever auto parts store it was, give me 3 feet of 1/4 inch fuel line. That's the 1/4 inch fuel line they gave me, and this thing is now a fire hazard. So that's one of the reasons why it's here now. I got to change that out and check under the car also, because of the length of that under the car too. As for the rest of it, so the engine, the whole idea with this car, originally, the title of the build was Perfect Daily Driver, and the idea was to have a car that would run representative of like muscle car times, so something in the low 15s, high 14s. We haven't had this car to the track or anything. It's not intended to go to the track, so I have no idea what the ET. It runs good, right? It's not a rocket ship and it's not a slug. It just runs good. It's nice, responsive, especially on the highway. You get this thing 60 miles an hour, 70 miles an hour, and that's her magic zone, and she just floats down the road. The motor is a roller cam 360, stock bottom end, pistons reversed, right? Okay, turn the pistons around, but then it's just got fresh rings and bearings. The heads are 318 heads that had a minor port job on them, and that's it. Just clean up porting. The head is the intake manifold is an old Edelbrock SP2P. It was a fuel economy intake manifold from the 1970s. It has super small ports, has long runners and super small ports. It's strictly a torque manifold, and the carburetor is a 600 Edelbrock. The distributor, it's a stock single point distributor. It's just been curved for 34 degrees advance, and it's set at 14 initial, 34 total, and it's got a vacuum advance on it. And while we never actually clocked this thing for numbers around town, it's pretty dismal, because the way this car gets used, it never fully warms up. She starts it up, she drives it to the store, the choke isn't even open yet. So gas mileage wise, it hasn't been that hot, and we haven't done anything with it, but we will. This is definitely going to make a comeback probably this summer, and we're going to do some things to boost the mileage as much as possible. On the road, it gets about 20, 22 like that, which is fine. That's exactly what we wanted with this. The rest of the car, it's a 904, stock 904, and it's got a 7 1/4 in it with 290 gears. So she's back for just a little while. I'm going to fix a couple of odds and ends so we can send this thing back into service. And like I said, she'll be back sometime this summer. We'll play around with it this summer. And It worked out good. A lot of you guys asked about projects, you know, past projects. Well, how did that work out? Well, there she is. Project Daily Driver in all of her glory. You know, it's not bad. It's not bad. It's a good car. I think we have a total, and this is no lie, right? Total. Because now I built this thing out of leftover parts originally. Keep that in mind. And parts that just weren't desirable. So our total nut in this car, including the rebuild, is probably under $3,500, $4,000 total. So, and that's not bad. That's not bad. And she's been given good daily service, you know, like I said, for the last 2 years, which is why you don't see her on this channel, because she's out there busy doing the thing that she was designed to do. So that's it. Let me get back to work on this thing, and I got some big block stuff to do today too. So that's it. I'll see you tomorrow.